Hello and welcome back to Wargaming with me, Gary. I'm going to do some slightly different videos, some next group of videos, and these are all looking at websites, and I won't be doing too many. I think there's 4, maybe 5, but I'm only going to do one today, and it's looking at websites that cater for wargaming. This particular one we're going to look at today is Black Tree Designs, and you've seen I paint a lot of Black Tree Design figures at the moment, which I speak very highly of, and I really enjoy. So, and the idea is just to show, because it's possible that some people don't know about Black Tree Designs or Renegade or all the other websites which are out there. Because the big ones are so well known, and that's not. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying, the big ones are well known. Good for them. I just like to show some of the other figures which are out there. Although I say some of the big ones, having watched quite a lot of videos over the last few months, Black Tree are quite well known, as are Renegade. So you may well already know about these. Anyway, I digress, as I often do. So here I am, and I thought I'd just show you how I get to Black Tree Design. So I just literally, in the search bar up there, I just knock out Black Tree Designs, press enter, and then you see a list there. Now the EOE Orbis and the Black Tree Design, which is straight underneath it, they go to the same place. So you can click on either of them. So I'm going to go, out of force of habit, I always go to Black Tree Design. So click on there, and that takes you to the first page. And as you can see, now before we go into what's on that page, I will just explain, it's got a Union Jack there and the Star Spangled Banner. So that's the UK Union Jack and the US Star Spangled Banner. What I would do, I would suggest you do, before we look at anything else, I would click on one or the other. If you live in United Kingdom, I would click on Union Jack, and if you live in the US, obviously click on US. If you live in Europe, then you need to make that decision where you would buy through, or how you would buy through. Because it's done, when you click on the UK, that's done in pounds, shillings and pence, whereas it's pounds, shillings and pence. Listen to me, old man. So it's done on pound sterling, whereas the US is obviously done on US dollars. So you need to make that decision on which one you're going to choose. Obviously, I live in the UK, so I'm going to click on the Union Jack. Okay, there we are. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring that down a little bit. So you see the Black Tree Design up there. I'm going to bring that down because that's okay. But what I want to show you now, I've mentioned this before, and I think this is possibly the most important thing. Black Tree Design do some fantastic sales. Like really good bargains. This one, as you can see, 72-hour sale. All World War II infantry 40% off. All Doctor Who packs 20% off. All historical infantry 40% off. All fantasy infantry and cavalry 40% off. I mean, that's an impressive discount there. Sometimes they do a lot more, and what they tend to do is every week or every once in a while they will change what their sale is. So what we can do is we can go down and we can look at like say it starts with shop 4, ancients, clearance, Dark Ages, Doctor Who, fantasy, feudal. And then it goes down here, quick links, get in touch, newsletter, sign up, and so forth. If you come up here, you can see you have home, catalogue, gift cards, weekly sale, blog, About Us and FAQ. Now I always go in through here because, right, so I go to the catalogue. You can see there's a nice list there: Doctor Who, World War II, Ancients, Romans, Dark Ages, Feudal, 100 Years War, Zulu Wars and Fantasy. So there's quite a range there. But that's only the part of it. Let me show you this. So I'm heavily into Ancients at the moment. So if I go into Ancients and click, you will see, let's get that out of the way now, the Ancient range comes up. Now I hope you can see that. Okay, let me just bring that up. Now that's good, because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to zoom in a little bit, because I want you to be able to see what they offer there. I'm not going to go through all of them. Oh, it's wrong way. Okay, and I'm just going to move that to the side so you can see that list. Okay, and as you can see from there, you've got Ancient Germans, Assyrians, Athenians, Celts, Dacians, Egyptians. The list goes on and on. It's absolutely outstanding. Of course, as you all know, if you've been following what I do, I'm at the moment collecting Ancient Assyrians. So I'm going to click on the Ancient Assyrians and another list comes up. Now, what I would say is most of the figures, miniatures that Black Tree Designs sell or produce. Let me move that over again now. Right. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. Alright, so you can see those figures there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 on this page which don't have pictures. That's quite unusual. To be fair, that is unusual. Most of the pages you go on will have a picture for each figure. But that's okay for me. What I did was I bought one pack of each first off, just to have a look, see if I liked the figures, which was never going to be a problem because I was always going to paint them. And I decided I did. Now, if you want to have a closer look, and so we look at these figures here, and it comes up. You can see the hand has come up, and you just click on there, and you get a larger picture. Okay. And if you like hover over that, it goes larger still, and you can go from side to side. Now, let me just go back to that page. The sale. Now, I mentioned earlier on that the sale, and you can see all the ones on sale have a big red sign with sale on it. And you can see if you look just here, so these Assyrian infantry spearmen, there is a save that they're currently on sale for £4.19. That's a saving of £2.80, so nearly £3 saving. So that's just slightly over £1 per figure. And no, you can. I don't know if you can see there. It's got. Oh, you might be able to see. Yeah, it's 4 spearmen, and that's sort of the same with all the infantry figures. So all the ancient infantry figures, as it said, when we came in on the sale page, it showed them. So sorry, I've lost me train of thought. What it did on the sale page was it identified that all ancient infantry figures are on sale for 40% off. Okay. So you can see so there's the figures with the discounted price. The cavalry, you'll notice today, aren't on sale. That's fine. Don't worry, because they're very good. They will make a point at some point coming back and putting the cavalry on sale as well. So what I tend to do is I buy what's on sale and then come back. sometimes, now I think it was last Easter, some of the figures were actually on sale for 50% off. Sometimes they're 20% off. You just have to go. You have to roll. You have to roll with it. If you know what they decide to put on sale and the amount of discount they give, that's what they do, and that's what we have to work with. The two I should mention the two guys. It's John and Vaughan. I think Vaughan owns the company. I'm not sure. He lives. I believe he lives in America. Which is and then so I think they started here in the UK, and then he moved to America, which is probably why they do the UK, the Union Jack and the Star Spangled Banner. Then there's John, who lives in the UK. I think he lives in Cornwall. I've got to say, I've spoken to them both on several occasions. They are really, really helpful chaps, and do everything they can to help. One thing I would say, and whilst we're doing that, I'm going to go back to the fantasy figures, because I'll show you the orcs that I'm. So you can see, you can pick out whatever you want there. It's entirely up to you. But I'm going to go back here. Now, I speak, as you know, very highly of these figures. There is one slight drawback, if you like. I'll say it's a drawback. And it's not going to come as any surprise to Vaughan and John that sometimes their figures are a little slow on arriving. Now, I don't know why that is. I've spoken to John and Vaughan, and normally that what am I trying to say there? Let's start that again. I've spoken to John and Vaughan when my figures have been delayed, and sometimes they have been very delayed, and I make no bones about that. I still speak highly of the figures, but sometimes the figures are delayed. Now, for me, that's not such a big deal. As you've seen, I paint an awful lot of figures. I've got a lot in my collection, and I don't mind waiting. You know, not. I say I'd rather not, to be honest. I'd rather wait for as short a time as possible. But it doesn't bother me. The figures are coming, and I've got plenty to do. So that's okay. However, there have been a couple of occasions where I've rung either Vaughan or John, and they've both apologised profusely. I usually get an email saying, explaining what's gone wrong, why I haven't got the figures just yet, and then they turn up pretty quickly afterwards. Normally, after a telephone call, at most 2 weeks. At best, so far, the figures came in the same week. So you know that's how that goes. But you're forewarned now. You know, there's no surprises there. Sometimes you will have to wait for these figures. It never hurts to give them a ring. They're very approachable, very easy to talk to, and they will explain, why they haven't. There was one set of figures I was looking for, and Vaughan was very honest. They couldn't find the mould for the figures, and that was fine. Like I said, I have a lot there, so I'm not that worried. So yeah, but that would be, if I was going to be negative, that would be it. Yeah, that would be my only negative. Other than that, the figures are fantastic quality. I think the website is very easy to find, as you saw. So I easily went from the Ancient Assyrians to the Fantasy, and then on to the Orcs, just by doing the drop down signs. Again, they're on sale, so again you're saving £2.80 for 4 figures. Oh, 3 figures in this case. Yeah, and there's quite a lot there. You can see there's a fair collection of Orcs. Some there on boards, and there are pages and pages of these. Look, 5 pages of Orcs and Goblins. Excellent. So that's my look at Black Tree Designs. I hope you've enjoyed it. Like I say, I can't speak highly enough of these figures. And also, I particularly like talking to John and Vaughan. Very nice. What I would say, John and Vaughan, if you are watching this, let me know if you intend to go to Salute this year, 2018, because I'm going to go there. And if you're going to be there, take some Ancient Syrians, take some Orcs, and I will buy a whole load off you. So now all you've got to do is turn up with the figures. If you want to go to Salute, there's a guarantee that I will buy at least 50 quid's worth of figures, a minimum 50 quid's worth of figures. So you can't beat that. Okay, that's right. I think 50 quid's worth of figures is pretty much your entrance fee. So yeah, if you want to turn up, that'd be really good. So you want to go to Salute. I'm going off on a tangent again now, aren't I? Must be old age. Okay, so that's Black Tree Designs. Give them a look. Go and have a look at them. Lovely figures, loads to choose from. I think I've shown you there, you know, fantasy, historical, science fiction, you name it. I think they can keep everybody happy there. So all the very best, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.